Hello everyone from Schwann Cadillac in Mandan, North Dakota, and in front of me I'm excited to show you the two latest Cadillac sedans, where other manufacturers are dropping their sedans in favor of more SUVs. Cadillac is kind of doubling down on everything, so they brought out more SUVs, so introducing the XT4 and XT6, giving you more variety in the crossovers, and then they wanted to stay true to their sedan heritage, and just because they know there's definitely a market out there for people who like an athletic, sporty ride, and that is where the CT4, which is in the background, and CT5, which is right ahead of me here, come into play. So some people are familiar with the old ones, which were ATS and CTS. Those have now been replaced with these redesigned sedans, which were focus of all-wheel drive, or well, actually I should say when the engineers were designing it, they were focusing on a rear wheel performance vehicle, and they do have all-wheel drive, which is very popular for our market up here, where we are running a lot of winter weather too. So both of these are the sport trim package. So if you're not familiar, across the Cadillac lineup, you basically have the luxury trim level. Then you can either go from the luxury, they call it a Y strategy, because you can either go from the luxury up to a premium luxury, which still keeps the same kind of grille look of kind of, they look like the little Cadillac shields with that Galvano material, or you can do the sport look, which gives it this really aggressive black mesh grille, the blacked out wheels, and then around the windows you get blacked out trim. Also, you get a low density taillight, so what that means is it's a little less red and more clear, and kind of all based on the colored LEDs in it. So depending on what kind of look you want that classic premium luxury look with the big bright fin-like taillights, or you can get the low density in the sport trim. So let's, as I'm wandering around both of them, you can obviously tell the difference in size. The CT4 is the smaller of the two. That is going to be a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine paired to an 8-speed, where when you jump up to the CT5, it is overall bigger, and that is paired to a 10-speed. But let's start with the I almost called it the ATS, but that's what this replaced. The CT4, which... let's take a look here. So yeah, overall a little bit smaller than the CT5. Great for somebody who doesn't really plan on having adults in the second row, but still wants it for maybe kids or storage, or every now and then enough to fit another person in just a short drive around town. But in the sport, this is the black interior package, so really nice inside here. You do still have a 12-volt plug-in in the back, so there is some charging options for in the back. And let's take a wander here. And we'll notice that here's one of the main kind of differences in size-wise. You will notice that is a 8-inch display up front there, where if we jump to the CT5, there will be a 10-inch. The other thing is you do still have a standard shifter in this, which when we jump to the CT5, you will see the difference there. And you do have a sunroof above the driver and passenger side. Keyless entry, so you do have the button on the door to activate if it's going to lock or unlock. You do have side blind zone with a blinker in the mirror. Once again, closer look, they have the blacked out trim around the window here. Jumping inside, you do have the Bose Performance system, so a really nice speaker system for a great radio or great music listening experience. Your memory seat functions, which is programmable with the key fob. So key fob 1 will go to memory seat 1 position, key fob 2 would go to 2, and then you can either set this as a third seating position, or what is actually designed for, that exit position. So when you turn the vehicle off, you can set it to automatically move to an exit position. You'll also notice this button right here doubles as both the window lock and the child lock. So instead of having the tab inside the door, it is now an electronic child lock. The nice thing about that, for safety, if you're ever in an accident where the airbags go off, it will disable that. So if anybody's in the back, they will be able to get out from the inside and won't have to be let out from the outside. But assuming you don't have to set the airbags off, it'll work just like that little tab in the back where the children in the back cannot get out. You do have these nice Cadillac leather seats with electronic adjustment there, as well as your massaging features. And adjustable lumbar too, I should say. Jumping in, still a really nice sporty seat, nice lumbar support so you're not sliding out. We can go ahead and start this up. You will see you have NFC, so near field communication. So if you have an Android phone, you can simply tap it there and it will sync everything up via Bluetooth. We'll turn off the volume so we don't get hit with any copyright strikes. And you have the nice home button right in the center, so if you ever get lost in any of the modes, you can just tap that and it'll bring you back to either this screen or this screen, which gives you a radio layout, your phone, and a little navigation screen. But you will see there is a built-in Wi-Fi hotspot in it. It does have navigation in this one, but that is not a standard feature because as we are seeing the trend go, more people are going for the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which you can plug your phone in, cast that up to your screen here, and actually it is wireless now, so you can actually just tie that to Bluetooth and stream whatever is on your phone up to that display here. Dual zone temperature control, so driver and passenger can set it independently with your heated seats, parking sensors, lane keep assist, and then you'll notice down below is a wireless charging pad. It is nice and large, so it will handle your iPhone Pluses or your larger Notes or different Android phones like that with a case, and it is compatible with Apple phones as well. Looking down here, past the shifter, you do have your auto start-stop override, so if you do not like the vehicle shutting down at stoplights, it is an intelligent system, so it's not going to do it every single time. It will only do it when the conditions are right, so your vehicle is fully warmed up, HVAC system is charged and ready to go, all the batteries are charged, things like that, and it will turn off for up to 2 minutes. You do have your auto hold, so when you come to a stop, you can hit that. It'll basically hold the brake until you hit the gas. Kind of nice if you're on a hill or just don't want to sit there with your foot on the brake at the drive-through or something like that. Your traction control, and of course next to it is your mode select. So if I jump through that to here, you will notice there is a My Mode, which you can change basically the sound that is, so it changes the level of noise canceling coming from the engine and wind noise in the vehicle. So it will kind of help give you an engine sound if you want to hear it, or if you don't want to hear it, you can mute that, as well as change kind of your steering and things like that. Your Tourer Mode, which is going to give you the smoothest ride possibly. Or at least that's the default what they're set. Sport, which changes your shifting points to shift a little higher, and of course Snow and Ice, which changes the shifting points to shift lower in the thing so you don't break the tires loose. You do have manual mode, which does allow the paddle shifters here at the screen. I apologize for the sun glare here. You will notice on the left hand of the steering wheel is going to be your cruise control settings, your adaptive cruise, or for your gap adjust, and then your heated steering wheel. Also over here are going to be your voice commands, so when you have your smartphone connected, if you press and hold, it will activate the voice assistant. So in Android it's Google's Assistant, or in Apple it's Siri, or mute or hang up the phone call. On this side is going to be all your controls for the display up front with your volume. And we won't dive too far into depth with this, but you do have your rear view camera that is running off the back hatch there. So without that, let's jump over to the CT5 where we can see the size-wise difference. I don't want to make this video too long, and we're already at 10 minutes. This is more so just a comparison between the two. So the one we're going to be jumping over, well, actually let me jump into the vehicle here first since the car wash is going. A little poor timing there. But we can see how much the material in the vehicle cuts down on that outside noise. But looking at the CT5, starting this up, once again, we will go ahead and mute the radio right off the bat so we don't have to deal with any sort of copyright strikes or anything like that. and we'll jump through the demo screens. You will see the screen is quite a bit larger than that CT4, so CT5 jumps up to a 10-inch screen. Also has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, navigation, as well as in this one, since this is the Platinum package, you have your video recorder, which kind of a nice feature about that. You pop in an SD card. We're going to turn the fan down here since it looks like it was set a little bit higher. But jumping to the video recorder, about that is it will actually use the cameras around the vehicle. So if you're in an accident, or if it sets off the alarm, like somebody keys your vehicle, door dings your car, something like that, that sets off a sensor, those cameras that are in both side mirrors, in the grille and in the back, which are giving you your surround view camera, will actually record, and you can pull that information off to either track down the person that keyed your car or did sort of damage, or if you're in any sort of accident, you can prove whose fault it was instead of a he said, she said kind of battle. So kind of nice there, surround vision camera. The other thing when we're talking about the cameras, and we can jump outside and point this out to you now that the car wash is down, but your rear view mirror is, you can have the normal mirror, or flip the switch and it's running off of a camera off the back hatch, so cutting down on a lot of those blind spots, giving you a lot better view of the road. And it's really nice because the camera is actually hidden up in the OnStar and radio fin up top, so it gives you kind of the same angle of the mirror would give you. Layout of the center console is a little bit different. So much like our SUVs, you do have the electronic shifter where you can just pull back for drive or forward for reverse with the park up top. You have a wireless charging pad, once again, large enough to fit a larger phone, as well as you get this kind of carbon fiber look around the whole thing too, and your mode select is up here. So also you do have the My Mode and different functions that are on the CT4. It's just moved up top because they have added the rotary controller with jog function in the CT5. So much like our SUVs, this is all a touchscreen up here. But if you did not want to reach up while you're driving, it's a little bit more clumsy to reach up and kind of navigate. You do have right where your armrest would be and your hand hangs. You have the volume knob as well as your different control to jump through the different menus, as well as the most commonly used buttons across there too. On the side here is, of course, your cup holder and the spot where you will drop a key if, say, the battery's getting lower or where you need to program something. You do also have another drop down for a phone or something in here, but your wireless charging pad is up front. If we pop open the center console, one thing we didn't do on the CT4, but you will notice you do have a couple more ports here. So your USB Type-C, USB Type-A, and there is a routing port here too. So if you want to plug in a phone, you can do that, as well as 12 volt right there. This one also does have the heated and cooled seats, but as I mentioned, this is the Platinum package, so this does give you that nicer leather style, as well as that nice chevron kind of pattern throughout too. So this is the upgraded interior. Definitely a nice vehicle, has a lot more of the camera features and things like that, as well as I didn't mention this on the CT4, but you do have heads up in both, but the difference when we're looking at the steering wheel and gauge cluster, where you saw more of that was stationary gauges, this is a full digital display up here, so you can customize what you see, as well as give you kind of the readout. So once again, that My Mode will give you a different layout, tune how you hear the radio, things like that. But now that the car wash isn't going, let's go a little bit out of order and take a quick look around the exterior of some of the differences. So the big thing, still keyless entry, keyless ignition, but you'll notice there is no button on the doors anymore. And that is because, much like some of the other sports cars in GM's lineup, it is just an actuator right inside, and it will sense to see if a key's in the area, if it's locked, and unlock it. And then actually, you will see it has the little Cadillac crest, and that would be where you could lock it from walking away. I mentioned that the rear view camera mirror, that is where the camera is for that, as well as here is your backup camera. The other kind of neat thing about this, and I don't think it's going to go because I think the key fob is inside, but at night it will project a little Cadillac shield logo on the ground, so you can actually kick activate to release the tailgate. Okay, actually I got the key fob in my pocket, so it's working for me here. And you can see that those second row seats can be laid down to extend your cargo area. But this video is getting quite long, so we'd be more than happy to answer any additional questions. But for an overall view between the two, big breakaway, CT4 replaced the ATS and is slightly smaller. The CT5 replaced the CTS and is larger. 8-speed transmission, 10-speed transmission. Both of them do come with the 2-liter turbocharged engine, really sporty. They were designed off a rear-wheel drive frame, so balanced that way for an athletic feel. But these two are also all-wheel drive. If these are not sporty enough for you, I do not have any on the lot right now, but we can certainly search or get something in for you. They do have the V Series, which is above this. And you now knew with when they released the CT4 and CT5, previously you could not get a V Series in all-wheel drive. You can get that now. And also, if the standard V Series is not enough for you, they did just unveil the Blackwing edition, which if you'd like to get on the waiting list for that, we'd be happy to get you on that list as well, or give you more information. But that is the ultimate performance sedan in the Cadillac lineup. But before this video hits the 20-minute long, I appreciate if you guys have followed along all this way. We'd be happy to answer any more questions for you, go through a test drive with you, anything along above. So have a great day, and we hope to hear from you.